What is up, my favorite uh, channel viewers or fans? Welcome back to yet another video. Today we are going to be discussing SNEAKO and his latest video, which is titled I Have a Confession. Cuties is my new favorite film. Now, SNEAKO as it is, right? I think you're pretty familiar with Cuties already, so I don't think I need to explain what it is and where it is. Maybe you're not familiar with SNEAKO though. SNEAKO is kind of this weird channel in a way. It's not weird like weird, but it's kind of like I'll talk more about my criticism of SNEAKO, but he does these different kinds of videos, kind of like me, but less memey, more serious. He tries to get like people's opinion on important topics, generally a good idea, but he had a few questionable videos in the past few days. So yeah, but this was the creme de la creme. I actually wanted to do a video on him with the one where he talked about I think it was relationships and cheating, but I just figure out that this is the pinnacle. This is as best we can get from Sneeko. And just before we start off, I mean, look at the like and dislike ratio on this one. I'm gonna talk about why we have this part here. This one is pretty obvious, but let's just kind of get right into the video so we can kind of see what this entire fuss is about. All right, so Sneeko, here you go.
Okay, if I ever wanted to get canceled, this is the video. I saw Cuties last night, and it was pretty good. It's a pretty.
Yeah, I just kind of like how he starts off the entire video with the camera shot. Like, people usually do that to gain some sympathy from others, that they don't start the video with them already being cut in frame, but they started by them reaching their hand out. It's supposed to make it more dramatic, like this is some uncut footage that we are not supposed to see. And Sneeko right off the bat, he's not a man of too many words. He just says what he thinks. I can kind of respect that. Okay, let's just move on. Let's move on. What we want to hear from this man.
Pretty good movie. I went in ready to hate like everybody else. I saw the cover and I got clickbaited. So did you. You got clickbaited. This is one of the movies that's gonna age well. Like right now, the outrage is really strong. So saying something like this.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there. I don't think the movie's gonna age well, and it's kind of fun you're talking about a movie that is about child pornography and saying it's gonna age well. I just kind of find it funny. It's like that Joker meme, like very poor choice of words. You know what I'm talking about, right? That meme. It's exactly that. But I don't think the movie's gonna age well. Why? Because Sneeko, believe it or not, there's still people who think that sexualizing children is not good, and they're gonna believe it for 2, 3, 4 years. Maybe in the very distant future, in like an anarcho-capitalist wet dream, this movie will be just another thing. Now I will do a review of Cuties. I will say this. Sneeko will address this in the video, but I have not seen the entire movie. I've seen scenes from it because I didn't want to waste my half and it's like hour and a half. I just didn't want to waste it, so I just kind of found like these best scenes on YouTube or whatever, best in big quotation marks. It was enough for me, it was enough for me to make judgment about the movie, because even if the entire movie would be about something else, just including these scenes in there, I mean, it's pretty disgusting, right? I'm not gonna show it on camera. I'm not gonna just fucking show it. I'll maybe link it in the description, but I'm not gonna show it. But okay, let's just kind of move on.
This video probably already has half dislikes. And I even tweeted like Cuties
Ah, he guessed it.
is clickbait. This was a pretty good movie. And everybody replying like, I'm unfollowing you. This is the limit, Sneeko. This is the limit. I can guarantee you, none of you saw the fucking movie.
Yes, Nico, because I've got better shit to do than seeing an hour and a half movie. Again, just because the scenes are included there, I mean, we can make the judgment about the movie. We don't have to see the entire movie to judge it, and that might come sound wrong, but we don't have to see it. If we see the scenes that are in the movie, for example, the one where those girls like literally sexually dance in front of an older security guard to get out of trouble. I mean, just including that in the movie, overlaid with some cheerful music, not making it like it's bad. They're just making it like, oh, look, girls are having fun. that's enough for me to say that the movie is not something I want to watch. But as I said, I'll watch it and I'll make a comprehensive review on it soon enough because I think it needs to be addressed. All right.
Dummies. How do you criticize a movie that you didn't see? What's really funny is
All right, SNEAKO, just don't get all angry. All right, just don't do these stupid shots of you like walking around. I know you're not that angry, but fucking Twitter comments. I think I'm gonna start the thing here about SNEAKO. SNEAKO to me seems like a very big attention guy, right? He's very keen on getting the attention. So he purposefully posted that on Twitter because he knew there would be like a hellhole of people. He doesn't do it, in my opinion, for the discussion or the sake of discussion. I might be wrong, but I don't really think that he does it, right? I think he does it to kind of seem cool and quirky, and that's why there are these channels. These are these videos popping up that are supposed to be controversial, yet there aren't because either SNEAKO is stating something that we all knew. I'm gonna do probably even a more comprehensive. No, you know what? Fuck it. No, this is the first and last video I'm doing on SNEAKO probably, so I'll just spit it all out. There have been a couple of videos where SNEAKO just kind of tells you the thing um, that you already knew, but didn't quite have the words to express it. So those are not really quirky videos. And then you have the second batch, the ones that are purposefully against something that is an established order, so he can just kind of get that extra attention from that, from kicking the hornet's nest quite literally. That is what I think this entire video is about. SNEAKO doesn't even think Cuties is a good film. I think what he wants is just people commenting hate comments. I think he jerks off to that. I think he just wants, the attention, whether it's negative or positive. He doesn't want to be maybe remembered for, speaking against something which is just child pornography, right? It's not even light. Okay, maybe soft child pornography. Still, it's child pornography. And he doesn't really want to do the thing and speak up against it when there is already enough degenerates on the internet speaking up for it, right? There has been literally a wave of people just talking how Cuties is good, and half of them you don't know if they're doing it for the attention, but I think SNEAKO is. I think SNEAKO's channel is getting less and less views. Maybe, I don't know, I haven't watched his statistics, and he just wants to make a video that will blow up again and bring him back into the spotlight so people can discuss him again and he can just be the center of everybody's world again. But let's continue with the video. That's my private opinion.
Is how different the covers are for the release of the European version of Cuties and the American version of Cuties. The European version is just like a normal thing. It says mignon and just like girls playing, because to them this is a movie about growing pains, about childhood. It's a coming of age film.
To whom exactly? Because as far as I know, and SNEAKO, unlike you, I come from Europe, right? You've been to what? France and England? Well, good fucking luck, SNEAKO. Those places do not represent Europe. That's like saying I've been to California, so I've seen America. That's the exact same shit. That's like going to New York and saying, well, I've seen the States. It's not that. You go to more conservative countries, or you go more east, or to smaller cities. If you would premiere this movie in my country, Slovakia, by the way, which you say that you don't care about, people would be outraged, and even more than the internet. Americans are so far handling it very well. I'm quite surprised people haven't got very emotional about it. Some have, but the majority remains kind of like comprehensive. They have good arguments and good reasoning. So yeah, props to that. But second of all, who exactly are you talking about in Europe? Like, what? London? Paris? You haven't been to Europe. Where have you been in Europe? Where exactly have you been in Europe that you can claim like, well, everybody in Europe accepts this? No, we don't. We just fucking don't.
But here, we only see the most provocative parts of the film. We
Because that's like half of the movie.
only see the girls dressed down. We only see the twerking,
That's
and we
like
get
half of the
mad
movie, you
immediately.
fucker.
That's why the cover looks like it's a beauty pageant. I thought it was going to be a reality show about girls dancing. It's completely the opposite. The reason that I
Yeah,
uninstalled TikTok was because every
exactly.
time I
It's
go
the
on,
opposite.
there would be a 13, probably a 13-year-old girl dancing to WAP. There's some whores in this. The thing about Cuties is it's not an unrealistic film. Like,
Yeah, good on you that you uninstalled TikTok. That's a pretty good move. Um, yeah, that's the exact problem with TikTok too. I mean, there is no age check. Somebody can just lie about their age, and they can literally be a 13-year-old girl dancing on the app. But you can still kind of say like, well, it's the responsibility of the parents because it essentially is, right? But when a major company does this movie and puts it on their like network, you cannot really just say, well, it's the kids. No, it's a movie network. If Netflix actually didn't have like a political agenda from a perspective of finance, this movie is a flop, right? People watch it just so they can review it badly. From a point of a movie or from a point of like theatrical success, this movie is a flop. The only the only mention it has is because of the controversy. If this movie would be not about the controversy, not about child like twerking, or if it wouldn't have those scenes, I don't think anybody would talk about it. I don't think it would get this big.
yes, it shows children in a sexual way, but this is not unusual now. And the people
Well, okay, it is not unusual, but does that make it morally right? I mean, that's the question we have to ask ourselves. Just because something is unusual, do we just kind of accept it and move on? What about Germany, right? Think about it this way. This is probably the SNEAKO would be that person in Germany that, when everybody started accusing the Jews, he would just be like that, well, I guess it's usual now. Well, just because it's usual, it doesn't make it morally right, right? Everybody in Germany, after the war said, well, I just followed the commands. Okay, you followed the commands. Sure, because that was the usually thing to do. I understand it. I can even sympathize on a certain level to you. But again, that does not make it morally right.
who are really mad about this aren't Gen Z. What the film actually
Yeah, you're quite wrong on that. I'm a Gen Z and I'm quite pretty mad about this.
points out is a difference between generations. How it doesn't really
What
make sense
difference?
to force kids to be in this completely religious praying, throwing water
No,
on them. And the
nobody's
only
saying
solution that
that.
the parents had
Nobody's saying that.
from when the girls in the movie started acting out was to just bring other family members into the household and like they had the uncle put his hand on the girl's forehead like hold on, like that's not gonna do anything. This girl is clearly lost. Netflix isn't stupid enough to put out a movie that bad. They're
Yeah,
not
they
that
are.
stupid. They know what they're doing. They knew that there was going to be outrage, and they know that this movie is going to age very well because
No,
it
it's not
points
gonna
out
age
a
very well. It's
generational
probably
problem.
gonna be
Yes, there are
forgotten
scenes
in
where the
two
girls are
months.
dancing and like get probably a little too much, but then immediately after they're crying, and then they face the consequences of their action. They're ridiculed by their classmates.
Yeah, this is exactly like saying I saw one commenter make this comment. It's like shooting a war movie where you actually shoot the people, right? It's the same shit. Just because something is wrong or you want to show consequence to how something is wrong, you don't have to explicitly show it in a movie. Now, people who study movies or do cinematography or some shit like that, they know this. They know art doesn't have to be shock value. They know art doesn't have to be explicit to get the meaning. And that is the purpose of art sometimes, that you have to show like the underlying message, right? That's exactly like, you know, I don't know. That's exactly like if somebody would want to make a statement on gun violence. So what he would do is like get a gun and shoot up an entire house of people. And then when the cops came, he would just be like, well, look what gun violence did. No, 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 no. But by sexualizing kids, you're not bringing the attention to sexualizing kids. That's not how it works. This is not how it works, Nico.
Like this girl, at one point, she takes a picture of her vagina and posts it on
Yeah,
Instagram.
and that's supposed to be
Kids
good or
naturally just
funny.
rebel. Kids naturally just don't want to do what they're told to do. So if you
What does
tell
that
a
have to
kid
do with the
put on a
movie?
headscarf, pray every day, dancing is for the devil, then they're gonna do it. If you
Okay.
told your kid that, oh, it's okay to express yourself, you can go to a dance class, probably shouldn't twerk and shove your vagina in a camera if you're 11, then they're gonna be normal people. They're going to be raised normally because they know.
Yeah, credits where credits are due. I do agree on this point with SNEAKO, but I still don't get what does it have to do with the movie. He's basically just giving us a parenting 101 class. He's not making any statement about the movie. Again, just because the movie so sexualized kids doesn't now mean that the movie is somehow saved from criticism, SNEAKO.
That's not a taboo. Like if you tell a kid not to do drugs over and over again, they're going to be curious. They're going to want to do it. This happens with everything. This was pointing out a problem that girls have. Guys don't really have problems like this. When I was watching Cuties, I was feeling like this was really an honest depiction of what it's like to grow up as an 11-year-old girl now. By the end of the movie, you see the protagonist just jumping jump rope, having fun with her friends because she's just a normal kid. They're seeing wet-ass pussy Cardi B twerking all the time, and they feel like there's an image of beauty and of expression that they have to adhere to. People want to be admired as much as the other people that they see admired on their phone. If you're really pissed off about this movie, you just don't fucking understand growing up with social media.
Oh, yeah, exactly. If you're pissed with this movie, you just don't understand it. If you're pissed with this certain artwork, you just don't get the message. No, SNEAKO, I think there is something bigger here than just people not getting the message. Maybe the lack of message. Have you considered that option?
I like this movie because it's extremely provocative, but it's realistic. A major criticism of this film was that it's child porn, that they were just showing these kids and that it's going to bring a bunch of pedophiles in. I don't think so.
No. Just look at the internet, SNEAKO. Have you been outside of your Twitter feed? Or that's just it. That's all the Twitter interaction you have. You look around YouTube. You look around even Netflix or other sites. There has been a child problem at YouTube, at porn sites, at everywhere. Nobody's just talking about it. Basically, Cuties is the George Floyd of the child pornography problem. It's the last drop of the everything. It's when people really said like, okay, now we have crossed the line. This is disgusting. This is not just people raging at Cuties. This is people raging at the normalization of child sexuality. This is at people raging at pedophiles. This is not just about the movie. The movie is the final drop. The movie is what started this entire rage, but it goes deeper, SNEAKO, than just meh movie. It's not all meh movie.
I don't think so. Not more than anything else that's on the internet now, or not more than beauty pageants in America, which still exist and are exactly what you see in the film. It's also really funny to see the difference of reaction that Americans had and European side, because I'm in Europe and people are like, yeah, that was a pretty good film.
Who said that exactly? I'm also in Europe. I live here, and none of my friends said that. Who said that? Your American friend in Europe? Come on, SNEAKO.
Kids are like, this is deplorable. I saw this commentator, Penguin Zero, who I actually like. There's not a lot of good commentators, but he's like, this movie is deplorable. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing. And it's like he didn't even watch the movie. It's just.
No, because everybody who doesn't like the movie, they just don't understand it. How could not somebody like a movie? Oh my fucking god. Are you this self-centric? Just because you like something, SNEAKO, doesn't now mean that everybody has to like it. He probably saw the movie. Or maybe he didn't, but the point remains. Just because somebody disagrees with you does not mean their point is not valid.
Just like he only saw the clips that were going to piss him off. Or he just got so triggered by the provocative imagery that he just...
Yeah, but I got triggered too, SNEAKO. Am I that wrong for being against child pornography? Am I that wrong for being against child sexualization? What is your point here? Like, he got triggered. Okay, that's his fucking job. He's a YouTuber. You get triggered too. Look at you.
Deplorable. Come on, man. Like, don't you see the reasons why she's doing what she's doing?
No.
People on Twitter are saying, like, these kids need therapy. The parents need to be put in jail.
Indeed.
The director needs to be jailed.
No, you know what? The director doesn't need to be jailed. The director needs to be thrown into a hole with gasoline, and they need to light it up. That's what needs to happen.
No, man, no. These actresses were really good.
Yeah, it's not really the fault of the actresses. Those girls were told what to do and they just did it, right? It's the fault of the parents and the studio who let that bullshit out. I'm not saying it's the fault of the children. It's definitely not the fault of the children.
It's a movie you need to watch with empathy.
No, it's a movie you don't need to watch.
Watch with outrage like everything else nowadays. Watch it with empathy. Not everything is
empathy for whom exactly?
Jail, cancel this, that. No, watch it like you're a human. It's so weird that like
What? Watch it like you're human. So everybody who watched it and didn't like it, they're what, subhuman? They're not humans, they're apes? Well, I'd much rather be a monkey than this bullshit.
To say that, but that's a genuine whatever, man. Stop, cancel me if you want, yo.
SNEAKO, nobody's gonna cancel you because nobody fucking cares at this point. Like, look at you, little man. Nobody fucking cares about your video on cuties. Nobody fucking cares. I am only doing this video because I find it rather disappointing from you. I used to be a longtime fan of yours, and your videos are starting to become more and more questioning. And I know if you probably won't see this ever, but if you see it, you'll probably just say like, oh, uh, I guess you're still in some echo chamber or something. No, I'm not. It's because I've started interacting with other channels and not just yours. And on that topic, I would like to also start a little discussion on SNEAKO's fans, because as I said in the beginning of the video, SNEAKO got quite some likes on this one. 21,000 people said like, yup, this is good shit, and they liked it. SNEAKO's fans have this tendency to play the moral gods in every single situation they are. They have the tendency to think they are somehow higher because their god SNEAKO said something anti-world, anti-everybody. The world is not always that the most quirkiest or the weirdest theory is true, right? Sometimes it's plain and simple. It's not always about playing the moral god, being the moral example, and pretending to be that moral example, pretending to be some kind of Jesus who will save us all. SNEAKO criticizes content, which he does eventually, and his fans support him in it because I don't want to say they're brainwashed, but I think they just think every opinion SNEAKO now does is good. This is the exact example. This is the exact thing here. Because if you look into the comments, I don't think I can get the entire comments, right? The top rated comments, the top liked comments are comments from people who probably watch his channel, but they are disagreeing with him. So I think SNEAKO should kind of look at that, look at the statistics from a realistic point of view, and just kind of think about what he's doing exactly, what he's promoting. And yeah, those are all my thoughts. I don't want to see his fucking face anymore.